What's going on, everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. But I gotta ask, you guys heard the news? Danzig, Jerry Only, Misfits, back together, talking about rocking in with a little Misfits with Danzig, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I did hear that.
Too bad it's not gonna sound anything like this. Musically it's gonna be like that. Vocally it's gonna be a little bit challenging for him, I think, because he's a little bit older. But then again, I'm a Michael Graves fan. I'm a Michael Graves fan.
Yeah. All those guys.
Yeah,
they're
that's
old. Not what we're here
But
to
then
talk
again,
about.
Iron Maiden's out there doing it around almost the same age, and they're still killing it. So
I didn't even wear this shirt on purpose. This is
AC/DC
not.
still
This
doing
is
it.
a coincidence. I didn't do this on purpose. It's just maybe it's good luck.
Oh no,
I didn't wear my tattoo on purpose.
I really didn't do that on purpose.
It just happened that way.
Yeah, did you get that yesterday?
That's good. But we're here to break down everything NFL. I promise. We got it.
It's off season, so it's also we talk about pop culture stuff because it affects because
I don't know how much the Misfits are pop culture.
What are you talking about? They're the start of their band is based off of Marilyn Monroe, and she was a pop icon. So for you to say that it has nothing to do with pop culture is kind of
I got you there, man. But let's be real here.
I do see a lot of people walking around with the Fiend Skull logo shirts on.
Well, you get stuff
you see them all over the place. So, I mean, pop culture, maybe, but there is that demographic where you're like, I don't know really where I'm going with this, but you see the Misfits are everywhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So they're a part of pop culture now.
They could be considered.
If you go to a shirt store, which you're limited to a few stores nowadays, you're gonna find at least 2 to 3
If they sell your
shirts
at Hot Topic, then yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can find at least 4 of their stuff.
Guys, what I'm saying is, you turn on the radio right now. I don't care what station you're listening to. It's not a college station. You're not hearing the Misfits. I understand they're bigger than everything else. They were on Geffen Records, but let's get to the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still love the Misfits, no matter where their T-shirts are sold.
I love Michael Graves.
The first thing we're going to talk about is Ricardo Lockhart. According to
Lockett.
Wow, yeah, definitely. It's hot up here. According to John Breach of CBS Sports, the wide receiver will be retiring, announcing it today. He played 5 seasons after signing with the Seahawks as an undrafted free agent in 2011. But during Week 8, he got that vicious hit from the Cowboys when they were covering a punt.
Correct.
And I mean, he went right out, lights out, looked unconscious, and I don't know what exactly happened, but it was something with his neck. And the reason why he's retiring is that they're saying, scroll down a little bit here. Yeah. I got a direct quote for him. He said, "If one of my teammates had come over and pulled my arm just barely, I might have died. If the returner would have broken some tackles and they would have got tackled on me, I would have died." So whatever happened, he's having a bunch of surgeries.
Yeah, because he probably had some tears to his spinal cord. So,
it was
right. Because that's
it's
what
something to do with the ligaments.
I honestly didn't read up on that.
I have another quote from him also, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Yeah. He says, "I didn't realize how serious it was until it was over. The doctor told me pretty much my skull, all the muscles, all the ligaments that connected my vertebrae. If I would have stood up then, the weight of my head, left, right, front, back, I would have died." I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, so then he must have did some damage to his spinal cord, because that's the brain center. That's the control line.
Yeah, but what's up
for
with the left, right, front, back?
Because it's your central nervous system that is there.
I think he's saying if his head had been moved in any one of those directions, it would have made the injury like that much worse. Maybe
it just
died.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
why if you see anybody with a neck injury, you just keep them still until the paramedics
neck
come,
injuries
because people always try to move. Yeah. And I take CPR and first aid every year because of my field, but it's some.
But CPR is good for 3 years, isn't it? What do you got? American Heart, not Red Cross.
We go for refreshers and stuff like that because there's sometimes there's new techniques. American Red Cross only changes it once in a while, though.
Yep.
And you want to break your microphone.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, but let's take a quick break here and tell you guys about our friends over at BrazilianAmericanLove.com. BrazilianAmericanLove.com is a brand new dating site that is growing fast for anyone looking for a stunning Latina beauty.
I think a lot of people, have the Brazilian thing because the hourglass, that Brazilian hourglass. And not only that,
well, if they're
I'll tell you right now, I get down with the Brazilian women's volleyball team every year because let me just say, just like Shakira said, the hips don't lie.
So, I mean, John's their biggest new client. Maybe you'll find him out on there. BrazilianAmericanLove.com. All right, I guess the next thing we'll talk about is there's been a lot more news coming up about the Raiders.
Yeah.
Now, the Raiders owner Mark Davis has come out and said that he pledges that if the city approves funding for a new stadium, they're moving. He doesn't care. They're going to Vegas. Now, Vegas is saying that they're willing to pay 66%, 66 cents on the dollar if the Raiders come there. And they're going to do it from tourist taxes. So from the hotel tax.
So that's good. That's awesome.
I mean,
it's better than the actual taxpayer
exactly.
that lives
absolutely.
there and then has to pay for tickets on
There's
top
a lot
of paying
tourist dollars being spent
now.
there, so.
This will need 24 owners to approve it. All right. It's starting to seem more and more likely.
You think there's
going
to be some salty owners that are
Oh, definitely. John Mara is always outspoken against it with the Giants. They're completely against it. I think
Why?
so are.
What do they have to?
It's just the moral gambling integrity of the game, and
no.
The Roonies also. They're pretty outspoken against it.
Well, let's
and
just keep it real, and no offense to your team or anything, but just stop getting your panties all in a bunch, man. They're the Raiders, all right? They're not, known as the Raiders for no reason, all right? Like, Vegas is a perfect home for them.
It's starting to look like exactly.
And that's coming from because they're my first team, because growing up, obviously the Carolina Panthers weren't always a team, but once I had my chance to kind of like branch out on my own and be an individual, I thought.
Now it's starting to get more and more steam behind it.
The Raiders.
The big thing is the gambling, and then it's the Raiders. They're like the dirty team of the NFL.
But those gambling dollars that is going to pay for the stadium to be done, and instead of the actual residents of that area paying for it to go up.
If they don't win. If he doesn't get 24 owners to vote yes, he could file a lawsuit like his father did in, I forget the exact year. It was when Marino and Elway, when they were drafted, he sued with a antitrust lawsuit because you basically have a bunch of separate teams telling him what he could do with his.
I miss good old
and
Al for those.
He won. Now, I'm sure Mark Davis would follow his father's footsteps if he has to, especially with him saying he pledges to leave.
Why not? He's following up in Dad's footsteps in his case. So he has to keep that mentality of and that bravado that the Raiders have going on, especially going into this year. This is going to be the year that and no pun intended, but they're going chips all in, and they got a lot of young talent, and they're going to take that division.
Las Vegas Raiders just sounds cool.
It does. I'm down. I'm down for the Raiders going to Vegas.
Because
I'm down for anything that makes NFL gambling more accessible to me.
Yeah,
I don't agree with people telling me what I can do with my money. I'd like to bet it on the Giants.
And when I talked to my dad,
and then I'd like to parlay it with the Jets.
He's a big Raiders fan. He didn't seem too sad about them moving out to Vegas because I was like, but what about LA, man? You guys, that's when you guys got that last Super Bowl, as the LA Raiders. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, what? Do you need to go? He's like, hold on, going back in time.
Not to mention with the Niners, the LA there Raiders, in San Francisco, you're talking about two Bay Area teams. You move another team, you move the Raiders out of San Fran, that San Fran area, the Bay Area. You move them to Las Vegas. Now the Niners are there. They're the home team. there's only one team.
Soul market.
Yeah. There's only one team to root for there, and that should.
Yeah, because California as a whole is crowded.
Yeah,
It's
it really
a big
is.
state,
And not to
though.
mention, there's
It's a
no
long state.
There is no
It's a
professional.
But it's
long
mostly
state.
Southern California teams. I mean, San Francisco's northern-ish. You know what I mean?
San
But-
Diego, you got San Francisco, you got LA, and then you got Oakland. So, yeah, it's a long drive.
In the four major sports, there's no Las Vegas professional team either. So
I think it's like
Yeah.
that for a reason, though.
Yeah,
You think-
I
you
think
think
because
so?
because it would be kind of like a conflict of interest in a
And
sense.
I think it's funny that the NFL
Because
is the
there's
first
always a
one.
Vegas line for games and
true,
things.
true.
Well, I mean, that's why the injury report's out. That's why there's an injury report.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I mean, Mark Davis does have one person on his side in this already. He has more than one person, but a big name in this would be Jerry Jones. And the reason why the Cowboys owner has a big hand in this is he's kind of campaigning for it too, and he's the one who basically orchestrated the Stan Kroenke LA deal. Now, that deal also moved the Raiders and made the Raiders not go to LA, but now Jones is trying to do the same thing, helping the Raiders and moving them to Las Vegas. Jones is really down for it, and I agree with a lot of what he says. He says it has flair for entertainment. It has 2 million people, and they're avid sports fans, full-time residents. They have a huge visiting, and more often than not, fans. I don't understand this quote here, but they're fans of other teams. So basically what he's saying is that when somebody wants to go to an away game,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, let's take a trip out to Vegas. We'll catch the Panthers game, playing the Raiders, and it's going to attract even more to them. And then can you imagine when Vegas gets a Super Bowl?
That's what I was about to say. You can have now you have the potential for the Super Bowl to be in Las Vegas. That'll be nuts.
That'll be
Yeah.
insane. Those lights, man. That'll be
Roger Goodell
crazy.
is sitting there going like this, like,
Well, Roger Goodell is not for Las Vegas. But it's eventually they're going to have to because all
he's
they are is
sitting there,
money hungry.
not on camera. This is a non-camera. He's like, "Come on, teams, just vote against me, so I can be like, well, the owners of this, this organization, this family, decided that they should go to Las Vegas. So, so I have to stand behind that because they voted majority."
But I mean, one thing I want to touch on quick.
Yeah, because they're the Raiders. Come on, man. That's the LA would have been the ideal home because, like I said,
They're the bad guys. They're the villains.
Yeah, and not only that, like that swag that because they're the bad boys of LA and all that, and not only that, East LA fool.
Okay.
What, man? There's a lot of Latino fans of the
And
Raiders.
you
and
can
stuff.
find some of them at BrazilianAmericanLove.com.
Yes, you can.
But we're talking about gambling a little bit, and I want to bring up in today's daily breakdown.
Breakdown.
I want to bring up the federal government
Yeah.
is keeping a close eye on daily fantasy. Now, a lot of
So you're
states.
talking DraftKings.
Yes, FanDuel,
all
and there's
that
a
stuff.
billion other ones, smaller companies.
Yeah.
There's a billion.
Those are the
there's
big
so
ones.
many draft
Yeah,
games
those are the. But I mean, they're really. I think there's so much
FanDuel.
money being made to these companies. Now,
Yeah.
some key people in the NFL, like Robert Kraft, have some stake in some of these companies. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people pockets are getting fat. But the government's, I don't know, I guess not as much as they'd like it to be. So they're going to
Sounds pretty
see
typical.
if they're going to put any regulations in it or, I don't know. I think it's too profitable for them to just make it illegal.
because-
It has been banned in certain states, but we're talking
yourself.
federal United States.
Watch yourself, guy. You're going crazy over here. Like, I'm like gonna give you like some glow sticks over here and send you to the rave. But honestly, it's a moral dilemma there. We're gonna have varying opinions on that. So
Nothing else to say on it.
I'm for it.
You're for? Yeah, well, of course we're for it.
Yeah, there's going to be people that are, because there's going to be naysayers no matter what you say. So
I don't know. I don't like laws that come from morality. I'm not fans of too many laws to begin with. But I don't think you should be able to tell me what I can spend my money on.
Well,
I totally agree.
Well, if you're at, from my
don't tell me what to spend my money on. Don't tell me to do with my own body. That type of thing, I'm all for.
I mean, you're not.
Well, I'm all for letting me do what I want with those things. Don't tell me what I can't do. Who are you to police me on those types of things?
Honestly, it's kind of like the stock market. You know what I mean? That's exactly exactly how it should be looked at as well, and it should be taxed exactly as so, because you're taking stock in a player. Which in Wall Street's terms, you're putting stock into a company.
Players are assets.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
So so then why is that not just going in? These are the things that I'm trying to find the word without cursing here. Really irk me. All right.
You say piss you off.
I'm just I'm gonna try to sound a little more, I guess, intelligent here, but honestly, because there's simple solutions. It seems at times if some people just put a little bit of thought to it, it seemed like right there.
But what about the integrity of the game? Because I'm not saying I'm against the move or against gambling. I want the Raiders can move to Las Vegas and gambling can be legal in the whole country. That'd be nice. But what about the integrity of the game? Because just look at Pete Rose. Who's that going to be in the NFL?
Yeah,
because it might come up. What about people just? I guess that doesn't really.
No, I don't think anybody's going to get robbed like Pete Rose. Because he's not even. He's a Hall of Famer that's not there.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
I don't even like baseball, and I know that.
I mean, fantasy teams, people. That's technically it's not the same thing as FanDuel or DraftKings, but people are putting money on their fantasy teams. And a couple years ago, maybe a year or two ago, there was somebody, I forget what player it was, who had himself on his own fantasy
Larry
team.
Donnell, 3 touchdowns, Giants tight end.
Was it yes. Larry Donnell? All right, well, he benched himself or something like that on his own fantasy team, and then he went off. So, I kind of forget what point I was trying to make, but, I guess what I'm trying to say is
that's different than the FanDuels and stuff like that, because you're choosing just single players for the week.
But you're still talking about crap. Now I can't remember.
But what if you're playing that player? What if you're playing that player that's in your lineup? What if I'm a middle linebacker? No, screw that. What if I'm a DB and my quarterback that I'm facing? So say I'm facing Tom Brady. I got him on my fantasy team. What if I play Tom Brady?
My whole thing now, especially now with social media being, so spread out, you got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got so many avenues, Snapchat, and the whole 9 yards of getting out to these people. And so celebrities and are more reachable. So why wouldn't you want to be out there performing 100% every single time, regardless of being tracked?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
why wouldn't you want to put the stock into yourself? I'm sorry to hear about your boy benching himself, but I guess you didn't feel his homie throwing the ball to him.
He never did a thing before that night. He was a nobody. He was an undrafted rookie free agent. You know what I mean? Larry Donnell, and he had 3 touchdowns in that game.
I could imagine that though, because I would love to be that guy in the draft. And it's and with the 9th round, I select. Myself. I select myself the tight end out of the Giants.
If I was a practice squad player, I'd be on my fantasy team.
I hear
just to have your name there.
I hear what you're saying though. Who's gonna be the first Pete Rose?
Yes, exactly. We kind of got past because I'm talking about sports gambling in general.
In football, who's gonna be the Pete Rose of football?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's the potential there for it, but
what about Kraft? Because you just said that he has stock in one of those companies. Right?
Yeah, that's one of the daily fantasy. I'm more thinking playing the spread. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about over and under.
How is it different?
Prop bets.
See, the FanDuel and the way that they.
FanDuel, it's not the same.
And the DraftKings and all those, you choose each week. You choose a player that's going to go off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's what Robert Kraft's a part of. It's hard. You can't fix something like that. Something like that's harder.
So they created a different game in fantasy. Because when you play fantasy football traditionally, you're drafting an entire team and playing them week by week. FanDuel, you're just choosing. Oh snap! Hey, it's like, hey,
daily.
Devonta Freeman's been going off these couple weeks.
Daily.
I'm gonna put him in, and it's like, so that whole daily stuff, it's it should be regulated and taken care of, because honestly, if you're gonna gamble, then you have to pay the taxes that gamblers have to pay. You shouldn't get a free ride out of that.
All right, well, I can tell you somewhere you can get something close to a free ride. DirecTV has some great deals right now. Make sure you jump on the Sunday ticket early. You can get them at 855-668-9061. DirecTV, 855-668-9061. And we'll move on with today's Daily Breakdown.
Daily Breakdown.
All right, well, Julian Edelman reportedly had a second surgery to that foot, and he's likely to be out until camp. Julian Edelman, he's 29, so we're getting that dangerous spot. You know what I mean?
Watch what you say.
He originally broke his foot last season during the Giants game in Week 10.
I remember I traded him to Colin in fantasy like the week before he got.
Dude, I robbed you so bad in fantasy, and with Jeremy Hill, week when he got the 3 touchdowns.
My whole season fell apart when Roethlisberger and Jamal Charles got hurt within like 2 weeks.
And then I traded him. I traded you a bum running back that got injured then too, didn't I? Jamal Charles went down on you.
Oh. Yeah.
Poor choice of words, but no. But
No, it wasn't a poor choice. That was awesome.
All right, but anyway, back to Edelman. He had a screw put in his foot after that game, and he's having the screws put back in. So I don't know if that means he had a setback or something like that. But Edelman caught 61 passes for 692 yards and 7 touchdowns last year, and he missed the final 7 games. So
imagine what
he had 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, imagine what he would have done if he wasn't hurt.
There's no denying that's Tom Brady's boy. But now Tom Brady.
Oh, that's his BFF.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, little white boy.
Yeah, but not only that, I got some. We'll go more into that situation because I'm going to drop a bomb on you guys, and I think you're going to go. Huh?
All right, well, I mean, I don't have too much more to talk on Edelman. I mean, Amendola restructured his deal. He's going to be getting 1.6 now. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's like a third at best.
But do you see what we're looking at here now? Let's just say, I mean, Edelman's having surgery. They're saying he'll be ready for camp, but what if something goes wrong? They were saying Cruz would be ready for camp last year. Do you know what I mean? So, are we looking at the beginning of the Patriots season with no Tom Brady, possibly no Edelman, Amendola stepping up, and
did he get on his neck? I was like, he's got the 5-point star, which is gang related. So I was like, what? Oh shoot! And then the media immediately caught on to it and was like, oh snap, he's a blood now.
Well, Julian Edelman came in at number 87 on the top 100 on NFL Network. The list voted by players for players. Now they've gotten down to number 81 so far, I believe. I don't really care about this. Like
I do.
Okay. Well, you can talk to me. I don't
because this is
hate it.
This is
if
it was just the fans voting on it, I would care less.
I do kind of like it that it's the players, but nah.
Yeah, it's the players because the players are going up against these people. You know what I mean? They're going up and
But you look at some of these names.
The players voting on it is like whose vote I would trust the most.
But it's also kind of like high school again. It's like who's the most popular, who's the funniest.
That's exactly what I'm going to say.
So it's a little bit of mix and that. But not only that,
there's definitely that element, but like it's not going to be entirely that. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, oh well, I had to play against this guy and like he's good. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have Andrew Luck at number 92. How is Andrew Luck a top 100 player last year? That's what I'm talking about. He's just there because his name's Andrew Luck. He had a terrible year, worst year of his career.
That's part
injured
of,
most of the year. He's the 93rd best player in the league. Come on now. Do you know what I'm saying? They got Alex Smith at number 81. Is Alex Smith the 81st most dominant player in this league? Like,
I mean, there's 80 players before him, so I mean, who knows really?
You know,
You'd have to look at who those 80 before him are.
But and then they got Julian Edelman. I mean, I don't like the Patriots, and I can't stand Julian Edelman. But I mean, for him to be at 87, I would think Julian Edelman would be a little higher.
Yeah, I agree.
I hear it.
And not only that, the fact that Stu's down there at 86, that's kind of upsetting to me. But honestly, and I kind of see it. But just so.
Well, we'll take a second here and tell you guys about Ticket Software LLC. You can get a hold of them at 866-853-3454. That's Ticket Software LLC. They got tickets to over 83,000 worldwide events with some of the best security on the internet for your card, for your money, with 125% money back guarantee. Hit up Ticket Software LLC. Check out maybe that new stadium that's coming in Vegas, maybe a couple years from now. Ticket Software LLC, 866-853-3454.
Yeah, sorry for that awkward pause, but because I was just looking at that 82, right?
I know you're looking at the list,
and they put Delaney Walker there.
That's what I'm saying. So who cares about this list?
Is
it just a popularity contest?
I never take that list seriously, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't take I mean, like, we were talking about like
is Brady going to be number one?
Is it a popular? Well, is he? I mean, is it a popularity contest? Yeah, probably part of it.
J.J. Watt got it last year, but that was his big popularity year with Hard Knocks and all that. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely that element of popularity, but I don't really like. I mean,
he's also a monster.
Who really cares about the list? Because it's actually who's gonna play best going into next season. You know what I mean? Like, that list means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Now, like, I got a question too, right? Like, let's be real here. I don't know where Odell Beckham lands on this list, but there's a lot of people that don't like Odell Beckham. Like, is Josh Norman going to say he's one of the top 100 players in the league? Do you know what I mean?
I think he would say he was in the top 100. I don't think he would be that arrogant.
I don't think he really.
Because he's not a shabby wide receiver, so it's like you can't lie to yourself.
Yo, go back like 4 months ago and listen to him talk about Josh Norman. It's so funny. I'm gonna make like a loop of you flip flopping.
Well, no, honestly, he just came out of his mouth and like dogged the Panthers organization. He's like, yeah, that's how you treat family. No, that's exactly how you get treated because of the way you treated it. Because you wanted to be like, yeah, shop me around. I'm number one. I want to get paid all this big money. And they're like,
you got the money, though.
Here, we're gonna give you what we think you're worth. And not only that, we're going to put a franchise tag on you because, that's how much we believe in you. We effing drafted you. So yeah, I'm a little, flippy, I guess, about him because how dare you come out of your mouth when, we gave you the chance in the first place. Don't bite the hand that fed you, boy. Nah, man.
Now, I want to take a second here and tell you guys about some friends of ours, especially if you're into mixed martial arts. The Slaphead podcast. You guys can get them. It's about the British light heavyweight mixed martial arts champions, and it's really about health, and you guys can call in, ask them questions. They do a lot of health and fitness, fighting, real man show. Don't get me wrong, I mean, there's just some women out there that I'm sure love it too, but it's a real dude sweat show you can get down with hanging out at the gym. I'm sure you can find them on iTunes. What's their Twitter handle there, Tom?
At Slaphead Giraffe.
Oh, the Slaphead and Giraffe podcast on Twitter at Slaphead and Giraffe. Go check them out, guys. But let's get things moving and close up the 4-Minute Hut. And
you mean start it?
No, we're not. Close up the Daily Breakdown. Yeah. We're not going to the 4-Minute Hut yet. We're going to jump in and do a quick player card on Victor Cruz, number 80, New York Giants. All right.
Mr. Salsa.
Yeah, Mr. Salsa. Now, this is a local Jersey kid, straight out of Patterson. But one thing that makes me mad, you know, he grew up a Cowboys fan. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds like kind of a bandwagon thing to me because the Cowboys were winning them Super Bowls back then.
Yeah.
Victor Cruz is like a year older than us, a year younger than us.
My brother jumped on that too.
Exactly, but besides that, he played college football, Massachusetts, and signed with the Giants as an undrafted rookie free agent in 2010. Dude bursted on the scene before becoming the Super Bowl champion that he now is, with the 2012 Pro Bowl under his belt, second team All-Pro 2011, most improved player of the year by PFWA in 2011 as well. He also has the NFL record 99-yard touchdown reception, and that wow, I remember that play Eli dropped back in that end zone. Cruz, it was like a 12-yard pass. Cruz just it was all yards after.
It was all Cruz.
But the way he really had his coming out party in his week 3 bout against the Jets, wearing the number 3 jersey, getting 3 touchdowns, got himself on the team, but was injured by week 3, missed the whole year. All right, came out, had to remake the team, and in preseason he was lighting it up again. You know what I mean? And he made the roster, no problem. But
and then he got hurt.
Yeah, then he got hurt.
I drafted him that year.
Well, I mean, that was a little bit more down the road, but like
he was drafted Victor Cruz a couple of years ago, but I remember him having the first game of the season. He had like 100 and something yards and like 3 touchdowns, and then he didn't do dick the rest of the season. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep, he didn't do anything the rest of the season. Nothing at all. Was it when he tore his patella? Is that what you're talking about?
I forget.
Because I mean, he came in. Him and Beckham only played together for like a game
I want to say 2 years ago. It might have been the season that he got knocked out against the Eagles.
That was when he tore his patella. He's never come back from that.
Yeah. Okay.
His original injury was a hamstring injury. That was when he was younger. And then he tore the patella, which is not as common as an ACL or a meniscus or anything like that. And I hear it's far worse. There's really no record of anybody bouncing back from it. They were saying he was going to be ready for camp last year, missed the whole season, said it was a hamstring injury because he was favoring the torn patella. You know what I mean? And it really messed everything up. And now that was October 12th in the Eagles game when he got that.
I remember that in the end zone he got hurt.
Yeah, in the end zone. Yep, it was terrible. He was screaming, rolling around. But here's what it comes down to: Cruz has only been in 55 games for the Giants. He's basically missed 2.5 years. All right, not straight, but he's missed a year and a half straight. 2.5, played in 55 games, got 264 receptions, 3,963 yards, 24 TDs, but he has 16 plays over 40 yards, 9 of them coming in 2011. All right, he is an on the bubble guy right now. All right, and that's kind of,
if you're not playing football, then you can't be on the team if you're not playing.
That's going to segue us right in to our 4-minute hut, which are players who's are going to be, we're going to call it up or out. Players whose production has to jump up this next coming year, or maybe they won't be out of the league, but they'll be like RG3. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of
they're
like
not going to get starting jobs.
Yes, exactly. And some of these people might be out of the league. Now, I want to try and stick with younger guys. We could throw some older guys in there. I want to stick with some younger
I got some
guys.
old guys
but
too.
Cruz has got to be on the list.
Some real young guys.
What do you guys think about Cruz? I mean, the Giants just drafted Shepard, who everybody is comparing to Cruz. You know what I mean? Short, quick, explosive, cut. You know what I'm saying? And Cruz, with that patella, he's known for he's like a guard. He's a slot guy. You know what I mean? He's quick. He's shifty. How is that patella going to hold up? Does Cruz even make the Giants this year, let alone next year? What do you guys think?
Honestly, I see him being a Giant.
For at least this year?
Yeah, at least this year, because you really don't have too many wide receivers as well. Like, that whole NFC East division doesn't really have, other than the Cowboys, don't really have any, wide receivers.
Well, I mean, the Giants do have Odell Beckham, so
you got one. You got one. That's what I'm saying. But who's your second?
Well, and hopefully it'll be Cruz.
Exactly,
And,
hopefully.
Yeah, and we got rid of Randall. It's really going to come down to then you're looking at Dwayne Harris and the rookie.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at.
Exactly.
I mean, they got a couple other
And
people
then Dallas
far
has
back.
Dez. And
That's all they
Cole
got.
Beasley.
Yeah, come on, Miles Austin.
And
Those
Miles
guys ain't
Austin,
nothing
yes.
special.
So
Miles
exactly.
Austin's not
and then
even playing football anymore.
and then,
I don't think.
And then you take it down to
He was on the
Washington,
Eagles
and they
last
don't
year,
have
he
much
didn't do
going down
dick.
there either. So Washington doesn't have too much. The Eagles are kind of working with young talent.
That division, I should say, is kind of, as far as receivers go, is kind of lacking a little bit, other than Des Bryant and Odell Beckham. As far as Cruz goes, I mean, he's kind of like that guy he was the guy for a while before Odell Beckham got drafted. He was like a top receiver in the league. Everybody knew his name. He was a household name for a while there, and now he's kind of like on the outside looking in. Not sure whether or not he's going to make the team. I think he does make the team, but I can see him being kind of like a second stringer, or maybe if the rookie or Dwayne Harris doesn't perform.
I'm not going with that one, but I got you.
Maybe you throw him in there on the outside, and I mean he's still got a name for himself, so he's probably going to draw some coverage, which could help the Giants out in the passing game.
I mean, Cruz got a nice contract when the Giants signed him, over $45 million, and now it's also kind of a cap thing. He might have to restructure his deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Giants could cut him and make money.
That'd be good.
So, but I want to kick it over to one more Giant, and then I'll let you guys throw in some names.
Oh, boy.
Andre Williams, running back out of Boston College, went to high school right around here. Also, another Giant got signed today out of Lafayette, DB.
You went to Parkland? Right?
Yeah. Andre
Parkland.
Williams went to Parkland High School, but
I got to play against him in lacrosse, and I leveled the kid out, and I just remember Parkland for that. Thank you, Parkland, all the rich kids.
But he averages under 3.1 yards a carry. He cannot get any penetration whatsoever. After the Giants were already done, Rashad Jennings turned it on last year.
Yeah.
Andre Williams couldn't do anything. His rookie year, towards the end, when Jennings went down, he stepped up a little, got a couple big plays. But if you got rid of those 2-3 big plays, he had a terrible average, wasn't finding the end zone. He needs to step it up, or he's out.
Yeah.
The Giants got a full room of running backs. He needs to step up. But who do you guys want to throw into the mix?
I'm going to start off with RG3.
Oh, that's a great choice. I didn't even think about RG3. That's a great choice.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who was drafted, 4 years ago now, and was supposed to be the franchise guy in Washington. Obviously, that didn't work out with him. We had Dan Snyder. He got hurt. Dan Snyder, obviously, him and RG3, they didn't like each other. That much was very evident.
Well,
he gets benched last year for Kirk Cousins after coming back from that injury, and then he gets cut, and now he goes to Cleveland, where most of the time quarterbacks go to die. But Hugh Jackson, I'm not gonna deny that fact. Hugh Jackson, who was Andy Dalton's quarterback coach last year.
Well, he was his offensive coordinator.
You're right. You're OC. Okay, so, but Andy Dalton has had the best season of his career last year. But the way I see this playing out is that if RG3 doesn't come back and play, as good, if not better, than the way he was in his rookie season, he might not get. He might be out of the league.
He ain't playing nowhere near that good.
Yeah, well, but he's got to hope that he does.
That ain't happening. Yeah,
Probably not in Cleveland. So, but what happens then if he plays?
Well, that's why he's on the list.
What if he's mediocre?
He's out.
What if he's mediocre?
He's out, or if he's mediocre.
Because they don't have options there.
Well, no, if he's mediocre, he might.
I don't even know what the depth chart in Cleveland looks like, but if RG3 comes in, and I'm assuming he's going to be their week 1 starter, if he plays bad, are they gonna swap him out for?
I don't
whoever
think
is
Hugh
on
Jackson
second
will do that.
on the depth chart?
That is Brown's
because Hugh Jackson has been quoted, I'm pretty sure, as basically saying that I believe in RG3, and I kind of agree. I don't think RG3 is still really talented, despite what happened in Washington, the injuries and all that.
Definitely did some things over there.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
We're forgetting that RG3. was the second overall pick in 2012. Like the guy's he's not a slouch. He's just.
He was riddled in injuries.
He was riddled with injuries, and he came.
But he's got an attitude, and he's not a team player.
I don't think that. Well, that might not matter to Hugh Jackson, who's now a rookie.
And not only that,
I think it will matter.
That's coming from a
Hugh
team
Jackson
that
has
bought
pretty much
into
already
Deshaun
tied his
Jackson.
wagon to RG3, and he better hope, and both of them better hope that RG3 can actually come out and play this year.
See, yeah, as long as RG3 is healthy, he's going to be the starter. Hugh Jackson, I think he's smarter than someone who would get into a musical chairs game at the quarterback position. I don't think he's going to treat the team like Bruce Arians treated the Texans last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think he's going to make his decision. He's going to stick with his man.
Bruce Arians was the coach of the Cardinals last year.
Not Bruce Arians. What's his name? From the Houston Texans. Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
That's what I meant to say.
go.
Well, Bill O'Brien, botched Houston, especially in the beginning of the year. Thanks for catching that, Sean.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, but I guess I'm gonna drop a bomb on you guys real quick. All right, I'm gonna throw out 3 names that are going down this year. All right, no, these are in
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire, and you know what's kind of funny? They're all quarterbacks.
I got 3 quarterbacks too. So
Ready?
I only named
Ready?
one, but
here we go. And these are the ones. These are going down. Andy Dalton, Kirk Cousins, and wait for it, Tom Brady.
No.
This is Tom.
Maybe. And no. But go ahead.
I definitely agree with Kirk Cousins, though.
I agree with Kirk Cousins. I'm saying, who was the first name again?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
He cannot get it done in the playoffs, so this is going to be his make or break year.
Yeah,
now.
but you got to think about how bad the Bengals were since Boomer Esiason left. How bad the Bengals were.
Yeah,
he brought winning to that city. He brought winning to that franchise.
They have a Tony Romo. They're
only
have
not the joke. They used to be just like the Browns.
I know, but they're just like, they are still a joke because they got a Tony Romo.
Not
Jr.
compared to where they came.
He can't win playoff games.
Now, if you were talking about a team like Green Bay,
can I ask a question real quick? Is it because that they're in Cincinnati and they're not in Dallas? If Andy Dalton was playing in Dallas and he had Jerry Jones as his owner, would he be looked at differently?
Yes, I'm saying he brought winning to Cincinnati. Cincinnati was a joke team. If he was on a team like Dallas, that might
the Cowboys weren't doing anything before.
No, Marvin Lewis knows what he's doing over there.
But the Cowboys had Troy Aikman. The Bengals ain't been good since 91 or something like that.
Yeah.
The Cowboys they've won one playoff game in the last 20 years.
Well, it was 3 playoffs.
There was a gap between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo.
Yeah, and now let me explain my Tom Brady statement, because Tom Brady's going to be missing the first 4 games, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be in there, and he's going to be taking over the realm.
I mean, I will say the Patriots have made a knack of drafting quarterbacks high.
Yeah.
In the top 3 rounds. Always trying to keep Brady on his feet. But, I mean, Brady's the golden boy.
But what's going to happen?
The fans will commit Harry Carey.
Because, honestly, and the karma of what he's already done to tarnish the game, it's going to come back this year. And this is going to be the year that you see him frustrated. You're going to see him pull an Odell Beckham and punch a bunch of Gatorade coolers this year.
Brady, well, he was starting to get like that when the year they won the Super Bowl against the Seahawks with the interception,
and not only that
losing streak.
Because look at how his body language was in that last playoff game. He wasn't getting protection. He's frustrated, and when you go into and you're trying to be the leader.
Well, he had all his offensive line was out for a majority of the season.
So it's the next man up. This is professional football.
Absolutely, but I mean, we're kind of getting back into just like we said, Romo and Dez missing. Sometimes when you got injuries like that to key spots like that, it's harder. It's amazing that they went as far as they did with that offensive line.
I hear what John's saying. Next man up. You got to.
But how many times? There wasn't any starters on the line.
There's a reason why you're playing professional football.
Yeah, and I know exactly.
Can you name me the Eagles' next 5 linemen? Because that's what the Patriots were playing with.
That's what the Eagles were playing with last year too. Because Chip Kelly decided to get rid of Adam Mathis and had Andrew Gardner in there at right guard. It's next man up. You got to play the schedule.
They went to a championship game with a backup offensive line. They went to a championship game with a backup offensive line.
Was that solely because of Tom Brady?
No, Edelman, Gronk.
So
but they had no offensive line? That's like the most important ingredient.
You sound like a Sam Bradford apologist right now. Because that's every apology I've ever heard for Sam Bradford.
I'm not advocating. I don't know how Sam Bradford really got thrown into this. I'm definitely not advocating for Sam Bradford.
I'm talking about in St.
All I'm
Louis.
saying is, if you don't have an offensive line, take the older Carr, being drafted #1 overall pick, going to Houston, first pick ever. He never had an offensive line, most sacked quarterback of all time. There's only so many things you could do about that. I don't care who you're putting back there. You need an offensive line. But there's no way Brady ever leaves the Patriots by nothing. Kirk Cousins, totally agree with John, though.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is the most overrated quarterback, I think, in the league. I said that a couple of podcasts ago. They paid him, what did he get franchised? I forget. Or did they actually work out a deal with him? I don't even remember.
There's also one other.
They paid him a decent amount of money. I know that.
No, yeah, he got a deal. He got a deal.
I've never been big on Kirk Cousins. Like, he's shown flashes of being like good, but like, are we really gonna sit here and say that Kirk Cousins is like a legitimate like quarterback in this league? Because I don't think he is.
Well, he's gonna have to show that this year, and that's why he's on this list.
Exactly.
Perfect candidate.
I didn't think about this until just now, I guess, but because I did a little bit of research of who's saying who's going to be coming out this year, and I honestly don't have this person. Maybe because I'm a Panthers fan, but I have Devonta Freeman falling off next year.
I totally agree. I think what Devonta Freeman did last year was kind of like, because nobody ever like, where was Devonta Freeman in his rookie year? Like, what was that, 2 or 3 years ago? Like, he did nothing. No one even knew who he was really. He was just the running back for Atlanta, and then he goes off, has a monster year last year. But I see him falling off dramatically from last year. I don't think he's going to put up, like, his fantasy numbers were like ridiculous, but I don't see him replicating that again this year.
Well, yeah, that'd be like Beckham replicating his rookie year. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But
like,
but at the same time, I don't think Devonta Freeman is. It's not like he's the second coming of Walter Payton either.
No.
Like,
but he's got
like
speed.
last year.
He's got speed, man. But just to wrap up, I guess I got a couple more people that are I see in the upward stroke here.
Wait, upward isn't doing good?
Going very well next year. DeMarco Murray, because he's supposed to be on his way out. Just had some bad luck in Philly. With some
and I'll
carries
say it again because Chip Kelly didn't use
Chip Kelly. We'll blame
used
that,
him wrong.
Marcus Mariota gonna have a good year. Mike Evans, good year. David Johnson, good. And then here's my surprise one, because everybody's gonna be like, "What?" And I know people are gonna be googling this one. Max Williams.
Yeah, who's that?
See? What? Who's that? See? The tight end for the Ravens. The Ravens are going to do some damage in that division this year. Because, when I told somebody what
I totally disagree just on the Ravens front.
Here we go.
So do I.
Now,
I think the Ravens
let's
are like
remember, let's take a trip, okay? All right? And it's not that far back in time. So we don't have to get into a time travel device too long, so our brains won't get too scrambled. Go back to when them Ravens went back and won that last Super Bowl. All right, they
against the Niners, Colin Kaepernick.
They had a team leader. Too. All right, they had a team leader. All right, by the name of Mr. Who? Woo! Mr. Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Who was saying, "You're gonna win this game for me."
I can't stand Ray Lewis. I got to be honest with you.
But he motivated that team. All right, and guess who's going to take that role that year?
This year,
Steve Smith. This year is going to be that Ray Lewis.
Kind of old.
Because exactly.
About retirement.
Exactly. This is his last go.
Okay,
so he's going to put a fire in him. He's like,
all right, okay,
he's like, if you're not going out there and playing, young buck, you gonna hear it from me.
Okay, I got you there.
So I see them doing big things, and with that meaning that offensive line still has some holes, and that tight end position is going to get a lot of those dump passes, and I see Max Williams doing pretty well
Well, I'm going to throw 2 more people's names into the negative conversation. People that got to step up.
I got some too.
Or they'll be out of the league. I'll throw my 2 out there. Then you throw your last couple out there. But I'm going to throw out there, I think he's on your list, Colin Kaepernick. And I also want to throw out Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end, Houston Texans.
I didn't
number
even
1
think of
overall
him.
pick.
Wow.
Perfect. Perfect. Jadeveon, step up. I know you're not healthy, but you can't make the club in the tub. Step up or ship out. That's what's going to happen for you down in Houston.
It would be funnier if you would have said on the pup.
Yeah.
You remember how talked about Jadeveon Clowney was?
Ridiculously. He was the next LT.
Yeah, he was so hyped up, and then he got hurt his rookie
All right,
year.
Bam over there.
Yeah, stop punching the table. Bam,
You got
bam, bam.
Bam. I'm so mad. Bam.
Jadeveon, step it up, man. Like, you're on the defensive front with J.J. Watt and the other kid they drafted a year or 2 ago. Like, that defensive front in Houston was supposed to be
Like the dominant,
lights out.
Lights
fearsome
out.
foursome.
And he was supposed to be the Robin to J.J. Watt's Batman, and he has
Wow.
not. He has,
You really
Wow.
freaking
Is he gonna
dug
wear
to
the
go
tights?
for a Batman.
Is he gonna
yeah.
wear the tights?
Well, they're already wearing
Sorry
tights.
for the superhero analogy,
oh
guys.
no, I love Batman.
no,
Batman's my dude.
Batman kept it real.
But Jadeveon Clowney being Robin's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. I don't see him saying Gigi McGillicuddy.
That's what he was supposed
Yes,
to be.
absolutely,
Jadeveon
yeah.
Clowney was supposed to be that guy, and he has not been that guy.
Yes.
That was really a good call because I didn't even think of him.
Gigi McGillicuddy, JJ. I
And
sure
that's
hope
why
I get
I'm
the
the host.
sack.
That's why I'm the host.
Gigi
I got the looks
McGillicuddy.
and the brains.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
So
so
what about Kaepernick, Sean?
Colin Kaepernick. All right, well, he was supposed to be.
Well, he took over for Alex
The
Smith.
second coming of Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't know that. Well, for
That's what they were saying.
49ers fans.
That's what they were saying.
For 49ers
Oh, yeah,
fans, I
ask
guess.
any
yeah.
49ers fan.
'Cause for the
And
longest time, they
they'll
went
tell-
drought-wise, 'cause Steve Young was a
I know,
long time.
I know a couple of Niners fans, and they think, well, this one in particular, buddy of mine, he thinks that the whole Chip Kelly Colin Kaepernick thing is he's calling it Chippernick and Chippernick, yeah. And I kind of hear where he's coming from because Chip Kelly, I saw what he did with the Eagles, and then I also saw other things that he did with the Eagles. But I mean, going into this offseason, there was a lot of question marks surrounding Colin Kaepernick. Was he going to get traded? Were the Niners going to move him or whatever? And then they didn't move him. So now he's making. Almost $12 million a year, and he's gonna be their starter if he's healthy, and he's gotta produce. And Chip Kelly's offense is predicated on the quarterback and the running game. So Colin Kaepernick, I think, is gonna have a season where maybe he's not gonna have to throw as much, but he's gotta be the Colin Kaepernick of 2012 again. If he's going to get an extension on that contract that he has, or the Niners might end up moving in a different direction and Kaepernick might be gone.
See, I want to bring up one point here, kind of off subject. I always said, especially when RG3 and Kaepernick were getting popular, I don't like running quarterbacks. I don't think they last. When I was a kid, I loved Cordell Stewart.
Superman can't prove you wrong.
I loved Mark Brunell, but those things, that's not how football works.
What are you talking about? You gotta be able to move, man.
No, yeah,
you
there's
roll
a
out of the
difference.
side of the pocket, and then you get to make a play.
There is a complete difference. There is no
if they
way
didn't seal that
Kaepernick,
edge, and you break out the side, and man, come on,
Michael
what are you talking
Vick,
about? You need
having
mobile.
that running ability is definitely gonna. I mean,
yeah, especially if you can
help you, man.
Yeah, but look at these
But
guys. None of these guys are pocket passers. None of these guys are for real. None of
They
these
don't-
guys lasted. They're
they
both
don't
on
stay-
their way out
they
of the
don't
league.
stay
Russell
healthy.
Wilson adapted, learned how to throw. He's got a great running back. Running quarterbacks do not
doesn't
last.
anymore.
The Wildcat did not last. Pocket passer is where it's at.
Superman
People
Cam
get
is still
injured.
standing. Though.
I don't want to hear about they got injured. That's the risk you take. You don't want.
Well, yeah, when you
that
go
big
out
of an
there, you're no
asset.
longer the quarterback. You don't get that protection of a quarterback when you're out there running. So
Running
that's the
quarterbacks
gamble.
do not win
but
playoff
also, when you're stuck in a position and all your wide receivers are
Well, they
targeted
were
and they're
something.
covered, and you got to move. You've watched. Come on, Peyton Manning.
there is
Peyton
an
Manning in the Super Bowl.
No, dude, but
went mobile.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you be a statue. I'm saying be Big Ben. I'm saying be Tom Brady. I'm saying
Even
be
Big Ben.
Donovan McNabb.
yeah, I
Because
get it.
Donovan
Yeah,
McNabb
all right.
was a runner at first.
So was Randall
and then,
Cunningham.
And then he became a pocket passer with that running element,
Like Russell Wilson.
implemented into his game.
And that's why he's successful. That's why he went to the Super Bowl.
I get what you're saying because they've been saying for years now because ever since the running quarterback has become
It's a
way more-
threat.
it's become more prominent in the league, but. Running quarterbacks do get hurt, but they do have the element of
How many
being
playoff games did
elusive.
Vic win? How many? Everybody acts like he's the best of this generation.
I'm not saying
how many
he
playoff
is,
games?
man.
Well,
did
that's
he
I'm
win?
not
because
saying
he was the
is,
most
man.
notable.
I'm not saying
But
he
how
is.
many playoff games did he win?
If Tom,
don't think you had
if
one.
you don't, if you're a pocket passer and you don't have a good offensive line, you're done.
Dude, if you don't have a good offensive line, you're done.
Yeah, Philadelphia did Vic dirty. Like with that offensive line, it was pretty bad.
Vic,
And a guy that can, a quarterback that can turn a sack into a 10-yard gain on a quarterback that uses his feet is an element of the game that it's fairly new to the NFL.
No, Randall
Let me ask you
Cunningham,
this.
like I said, Randall Cunningham and
Fairly
Warren
new.
Moon was known to come out of the pocket a little bit and move.
But
he was known to come out of the pocket a lot of bit and move.
But it's become
Exactly,
something
so-
that you see with guys like
Steve McNair.
RG3, Colin Kaepernick,
but they're terrible.
Michael
Come
Vick.
on, he was called Air McNair for.
Yeah, but those guys are also runners first and passers
That's what I'm
second.
saying.
And
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying is that you need that dual element.
You don't need the dual element.
Yeah, you
That
do because
helps.
it keeps that defense
Peyton
on their
Manning is not a
toes. You
dual
don't know
element.
if he's going to
Peyton
run
Manning.
or if he's going to pass. So
Eli Manning.
And if
Peyton
you're
Manning.
good and you can move, what?
Joe Flacco.
Yo, Captain Noodles.
Joe
Let's keep it real.
Flacco.
Captain Noodles got the Super Bowl based on their defense. All right, he wasn't putting.
But what about the
numbers
first
like
one?
that.
What about the first one?
Who?
Peyton Manning. What about with the Colts? What about both of Eli's? I mean, he had the great escape, but these aren't run first guys. What about Brady? Brady's not a run first guy. Joe Flacco won the Super
No,
Bowl.
because
He doesn't run.
see, Tom Brady doesn't count because he has an extra offensive lineman and he wears a zebra shirt.
No, you can't keep. Yeah, I'm just saying. There's way more pocket guys have success. Those are the legends. The guys that are mobile. Look at how good Cordell Stewart was when he came out.
Yeah,
Nobody
Cordell Stewart
talks
was
about
pretty good.
Cordell Stewart. Nobody's going to talk about RG3 unless it's a bust 10 years down the road. People talk about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is kind of like McNabb, kind of like young. You know what I mean? I don't put him in just a runner of a quarterback.
Well, he was a baseball player, so he's got an arm.
Yeah, exactly.
All I'm saying is that running element is. I said needed before. I'm going to stick to that because that running element, you're not going to see Tom
Keeps
Brady.
the defenses on
It
their
keeps
toes.
yeah, exactly.
But
And that element of the game,
Especially
that element of the
especially
game
your
is gonna help
linebackers
you
that
win.
are looking
The
to
Eagles
play
made it to
run or they're going to
5
play
NFC
pass.
championships and a Super Bowl. Yeah, they didn't win, but that element of Donovan McNabb's game.
But he wasn't the
Yeah.
same as RG3. I'm not talking about the Donovan McNabb category. That's fine.
I'm
He's
not
in that
talking-
category, though.
Yo, Donovan McNabb and
He was pretty
RG3
mobile.
are in different categories. I'm sorry, they are.
I'm not
Michael
putting-
Vick and McNabb are in different
I'm
categories.
not putting them in the same category.
Yeah, so I'm not arguing with you about
I would-
McNabb. I'm arguing with you about
I
Vick.
would
that run
kind of.
first that run first mentality is probably not gonna win you a lot.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is that element is something that is going to be so valuable in football games.
What happened to the Wildcat? It's the same thing as the Wildcat. Why are we running options? Is this high school football? I don't want to see my quarterback. I don't care who my quarterback is. I don't want to see my
It's a
quarterback
football
out there
play.
taking. It's the quarterback.
It's a football
it's
play.
the quarterback. Look at what happened to the Cowboys.
well then you know what? If you want to sound like that, then I don't want to see the bomb pass anymore.
No,
no
I'm saying-
Hail Marys, guys.
No, what? That has nothing to do.
It's
I'm
a-
saying
it's a play.
I don't want the number
Not to
one
mention-
person on my team
not to
getting
mention-
rocked.
All
Who's
right,
also
all
the
right,
big
all right, here you
baby
go.
on this.
Not to mention the entertainment factor of
Screw the entertainment value. I want
It's
Super
a
Bowl.
game. You want
I want
entertainment
championship.
value.
football for entertainment.
I
That
watched
is-
it to see the Giants win 16 games.
Is that not entertaining? Are you not entertained?
I was entertained watching the Panthers win 16 games.
I don't care what Andrew says.
We're making people deaf right now.
Watching Donovan McNabb.
Actually, we haven't clipped
scramble. Watching Donovan McNabb scramble. Watching Michael Vick scramble. Watching Randall Cunningham scramble was entertaining. I don't care the Eagles. They
Warren Moon, Steve McNair.
Yeah,
So many Super Bowls between them guys, man.
I will.
Not only
I will
that, let's
stab
go.
you.
Let's
I will stab you.
You know,
But
it
that
ended
is-
his career, but Steve Young was pretty mobile as well.
Yes,
he was
Steve-
known
yes,
to
he
move
was.
and fight for those yards.
Thank you,
Young
John.
ran
Thank
around.
you.
Steve Young ran around like a chicken with his head cut off because he had
it
no
work?
offensive line.
Because-
Yes,
Did
but he
it
wasn't
work?
a run first quarterback. He had Jerry Rice. Are you kidding me? Are you guys serious? He is
Neither
not a
he had
was
run.
Terrell
Donovan
Owens in the
McNabb.
beginning.
Neither was Donovan
I'm
McNabb.
not talking about Donovan McNabb for the 40th damn time. All right, guys, I gotta say this. Do we have anybody else on this list, or are we just getting out of here?
My last guy is Sam Bradford. If he doesn't show up to play this year, he's done.
There you go. I have a headache. We're gonna close out the show the way we started the show, with a little bit of the Misfits. Really happy
Saturday night.
that Danzig's back. Danzig's not on this one, but oh well, it's a great song. But before we get out of
No,
here, tell you
because
guys,
it has the good one.
yeah, he really likes Michael Graves more than
Yo,
Danzig.
'cause listen to
Michael
this.
Graves can sing, but I mean, Danzig is the Misfits. Like, let's be real. But what else is real is voiceofbedlam.com. Get over there, click on the featured articles, check out sportsrants.com, nygiantsrush.com, check out all the sponsors, and hit us up, hashtag BOBpod on Twitter.
Yeah, and then not only that, I think we're gonna unveil a new little segment piece next week that it's gonna involve your interactions.
It's in the works. It's in the works. Sean, you got anything before we go?
No, I this was a great show. Lots of passion, lots of anger, lots of debate. I love it. Let's,
Wait until we
I
get
can't
into
wait
like
till
the
next
regular
week.
season.
Yes, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Which, just so you guys know, we are going to be switching to a Tuesday, Friday format once we get into the
Eventually.
full season.
But all right, guys, no Collins tonight. Too bad he wasn't here. But for Devil John, Sean Bedlam, I'm Andrew Bedlam, and we're out of here. All right, how's everybody doing out there today? Thanks for tuning in to this special edition Voice of Bedlam podcast. If you want to take that next jump with your business or company, you need to come over and advertise on the Voice of Bedlam podcast. Get your ad heard by thousands on a reoccurring basis. Just click buy now and send us your info. Thanks a lot, guys.